Hi folks, how are all of you? Hope you're all doing fine with excellent health and in the best state of your minds. A very interesting topic to be spoken today, and I always speak about life and careers with a lot of information from real life experiences, and if that's something which will interest you, probably you should consider liking and subscribing to this channel. Very important topic, and probably I'll share with you some of my experiences in the journey of life so far, and very important for you probably if you want to really lead a very happy life. I would rather say, rather than happy, probably you can replace it with the word peaceful. Kill your dark side and probably find your best way to happiness is what I would put it that way. Now, of course, it might look like this is a clickbait. I'm wanting you to click on this and probably visit this video by saying kill your dark side, and you might even think that, well, where is the dark side to me? I'm such a wonderful person. All of us are wonderful people. All of us are very nice people, but fortunately, unfortunately, in the journey of life, we come across a lot of peaks and valleys, emotional upheavals in life, due to numerous challenges, which is unique to each one of us. Every one of us has a very different challenge, and in the course of these challenges, as I call, in the peaks and valleys of life, we probably tend to digress from what is important and what is to be done. And if you probably are someone who's familiar with success literature or happiness literature, you'll know that in a lot of times happiness and peacefulness in life, or being contented in life, being not bothered by unnecessary problems in life, also depends on what you are not doing. So you can do a lot of things, but what is very important is there are probably one set of things in life which you should not do at any cost. And if you don't do that itself, probably a piece of life is assured, happiness is assured. And that is exactly what I say when I say kill that dark side of you. And each of us has this dark side. Let us be very honest. Inherently, I'm a very nice person. I'm not boasting myself, and I'm sure inherently all of us are nice people. And again, I want to reiterate, when I say kill your dark side, I'm not talking about any criminal intent, criminal activities. That is an entirely different gamut of things. What I'm saying is, time and again within us, those little devils keep popping out, asking us to probably do things which are not necessary to in the course of life. Probably if I have to start with one example, anonymous chat rooms are a big addiction today, and I'm sure some of you have experienced being in anonymous chat rooms, and at sometimes people, I think, somewhere draw the courage to get connected with people who they meet on anonymous chat rooms, and then probably try and build real life relationships with them remotely without even seeing the person. Believe me, 90% or 95, or why 95, even 99% of these chat rooms are full of what I would say people who are masquerading as what they are presenting. They are not people. I mean, almost to the extent that people even fake sexes, fake photographs, just for the heck of it. I think small pleasures of life, and a lot of us fall prey to these things. And this is where I say, we all are connected on social media. We think the social media is leading us to a very connected world, but in reality, we are the most disconnected today, because we're chasing money, we're chasing time. We don't have enough time to do things which are required to be done. All of us are running behind that big success in life, and this is almost a habit with most of us. And in that rush, these small joys seemingly are very comfortable for each of us, and that is why most of us try and take recourse to this. Yes, I'm not saying this is criminal to do this, but you should know the limits of doing that. I mean, never try and establish relationships on the dark web, assuming that they are going to be good relationships, because believe me, if your real life relationships are so challenging, how the hell will these kind of relationships be good? That is a very important point you should remember, and that is the very first thing I want to warn you about. Never stretch these kind of chat room stuffs beyond a certain point. It is going to be extremely perilous for your life. The next logical fallout of what I said just now in terms of connecting with people who are anonymous and trying to establish a relationship, the next step in that is giving too much of importance to the kind of social media persona we all built up, and also judging the entire world based on their social media personas. I think, believe me, social media is a wonderful place if you're wanting to acquire knowledge, if you want to probably stay updated in terms of contemporary news, if you want to acquire your own skill sets in terms of being a better person in your profession. Yes, social media is a wonderful I think vast ocean of knowledge, and we have to learn from social media. But again, there unfortunately a lot of us are also looking for real life connections through social media, because there are some missing links in our relationships in life. There are missing links in terms of what we aspire. There are missing links in terms of some fantasies, if I can say. These fantasies can be both white and black. Yeah, again, it's human tendency. These are topics which nobody talks much about, and because we are trying to find some missing pieces of our real life and imagine that these are going to be available in people with people we connect on social media, with people we strike a rapport. Imagine, again, a whole lot of these people are imaginary people. You don't know them. I'm not saying everybody is anonymous on social media, but a vast chunk of people who actually lure you in terms of trying to come into relationships, lure you that you could be best friends, etc., lure you that you could probably be great friends for life, etc. I think there is an entire dark world out there where people really are trying to exploit this softer side, or probably mildly darker side of people. And if you and me are willing to be praised to this kind of people, I think then it is our own volition. You should be extremely careful with these kind of people. You should also be extremely careful in the kind of values or importance you attach to these kind of social media relationships. Be very, very discreet in terms of social media relationships. In fact, I would say, if you are a working professional, if you have a 9 to 5 job with a corporation, with a private corporation, with a public corporation, etc., I think you have to be very, very careful in terms of what you post on social media, how you respond to people on social media, because at stake is your profession, at stake is your career. And today there are a lot of, I think, the kind of the trolls are a bloody industry across the world, and the trend is more in India today. There are trolls just waiting to probably try and see if they can make people fall down because they hold opposite views. So this is the kind of dynamics which operate social media. So if you're in a workplace, I think you should handle social media with extreme care is number one. And coming back to this, looking for anonymous relationships on social media and imagining that they will fructify as a relationship, believe me, it is a menace. It doesn't work. Probably it works for 1 in 100 or 2 in 100. I see a lot of people putting that we met on Twitter, and probably saying that they got married. Somebody who separated for a long time found a new partner on social media. I think, yeah, there are exceptions to every rule, and these are exceptions. Unfortunately, most of the people who are using social media imagine that this is not an exception. This is probably a rule, and I would say we are readily willing to fall prey to these kind of people. And believe me, today social media, a whole lot of people are out there also to make money, saying that you once they connect with you, make a relationship with you, then suddenly they will come up with stories about being in duress, being suffering huge business losses, someone in the family having serious health issues, and they are in dire straits, they have lost their job. There could be thousands and thousands of variations of these stories, but the intent there is to probably make quick money. And unfortunately, all of us are vulnerable. All of us, as I said in the beginning of this video, we're all very nice-hearted. We want to be seen as helpful. We want to help people. And that part of it is easily exploited by these kind of scums who occupy the social media. And believe me, it is not just a handful of people. There are a large set of people out there in social media. You can be it on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. And I've seen this more in India also as a trend. People just trying to exploit someone very, very quickly just for the sake of monetary gains. Be very, very careful on this. And as I said earlier, this is a big no-no. If there are a set of things which you should not do to have a peaceful life, the first one which I said was avoid these anonymous chats. Yeah, I think once in a way is fine, but if you try and establish real life relationships based on that, I think you're going to be in big trouble. Likewise, in social media, be very, very careful and discreet, because unfortunately, a majority of people out there are trying to only exploit how best they can in terms of exploit the sensibilities and vulnerabilities of people for their own pecuniary gains. You should be very, very careful about that. And I think these two things are very, very big things in today's changing world. In today's world, we all think that social media is a miracle. Social media is doing so much of good and things like that. But there is also a dark side lurking there, which you should be aware about. Another important thing, or another important trend which is emerging now, is that suddenly long gone friends appear in your life. And sometimes these long gone friends could be friends of the opposite sex. They appear in your life. They remind you of those old great days. They stir up your nostalgia, and that is a softer side which we all probably like to be in. We all like nostalgia. We all like to relive those heydays and excellent feelings. But unfortunately, this is also something which quite a lot of people want to exploit in you. They want to probably stir nostalgia you, and then through that, if they can understand your vulnerabilities at any point in time, make use of those vulnerabilities, and see how well they can exploit the situation. And this exploitation can be any way. It can be emotional exploitation. It can be financial exploitation. Probably in some cases it can be even go to the extent of almost bordering on blackmail, because they know that you're emotionally vulnerable, and you probably will do it because you saw that person as someone who's emotionally bonded with you. Believe me, this is the biggest problem with one set of people. And if you fall prey in that, if you are trapped in that, I think your life is going to be very, very miserable, because a lot of times these kind of nostalgia things you haven't shared with anybody. You probably are keeping it secret, because that is also something which you enjoy. All of us like to keep secrets in life, particularly in relationships. And let us be honest, you might probably think that what is this guy talking? This guy is talking very, very strange things. Maybe he's got too much of a dark side, and which is why he's talking. No, not really. I'm talking about something which is common, which is general. I've observed with a lot of people, and there are people out there who, when I use this word, people who are long gone friends suddenly reappear and come back to your life, and probably try and establish a new nerve of relationship. And believe me, in 70 or 80% of the cases, the intent is to probably exploit you emotionally, financially, and probably see what best they can extract out of a situation. Yes, unfortunate, but we are living in a very ruthless and selfish world, and there are a lot of times when people are in trouble. People want to make that quick buck. They are just looking for opportunities which present to them in life in any form. It can be people, it can be places, it can be opportunities, it can be one whole lot of people whom they can scam, or it can be one individual they can scam. So be very, very careful, be very, very wary, be very, very discreet. And in case you want to really help, make sure that you probably have some paperwork for that help. Never help because you have it with you. You're probably in a situation where you can throw money. 5 years down the line, that money may be so valuable to you, and believe me, that money is not going to come back to you from this particular person who's trying to exploit you. Very, very important. I learned from my own experience that this is one of the biggest don't do's in life if your life has to be very, very peaceful. Again, this podcast or video, you might think there is a lot of incoherence. I'm jumping from one end to the another, but I'm only trying to pick up situations, pick up illustrations from my own life and people whom I know, to probably highlight you as to how important it is to kill the dark side in you. And believe me, all of us have this dark sides. It is not that you might imagine, no, I don't have a dark side, but you probably haven't really evaluated you fully to understand how your dark side works. It is not the same for everybody. So these are very, very important for you. And believe me, what is a dark side? I think the best example of what your dark side can be is if there is something which is a secret to you, which you don't want to share with anybody who's near and dear, which you don't want to share with your spouse or kids or your parents. I think in all probability that is a dark side. And assess whatever you do in your daily life or routine life, in those lighter moments, in your darker moments, and Will you be comfortable sharing that with anybody who matters to you, who's of consequence to you in real life? Then you can safely say that that is something which is a dark side in you, and you have to kill that dark side today. This is something which I wanted to. These are some of the issues which I wanted to highlight in today's world, in today's changed world, where we all are assuming that the social media is connected us in a big way, but in fact we are most fragmented and most emotionally vulnerable only today. I mean it. I'm not really exaggerating it. In reality, the social media world is only making us more and more disconnected, more and more vulnerable, and sadly there are one set of people who even track our social media posts and can clearly understand our frame of mind, because unfortunately we also are using social media as a big vent for our feelings. You have a problem in the workspace, you go and vent it out there using anonymity. You have a problem in your personal life, you vent it out there in anonymity. And of course there is nothing wrong in it, there is a lot of comfort in it, but don't allow anybody to exploit that, use that information to exploit you. You clearly should be able to draw a line between sharing what you feel, and the moment somebody crosses the line and says, okay, I am here to help, I am your emotional comfort, that is when you need to be very, very discreet and careful. Yeah, there is nothing wrong in looking forward to friends for comfort, but you have to be very, very, you shouldn't be so emotionally weak that comfort can go to any extent. And you know what I mean. I'm meaning it very, very seriously. Another thing, of course, totally irrelevant to this is money decisions. If you are taking any money decisions, fairly big money, I'm saying if it is maximum of, like for example, Indian rupee, maximum of 5 or 10,000 rupee money decisions you can take independently. You can throw the money to people, you can help them without telling anybody, you can keep it a secret, whatever. But if you are taking any big decisions of lending people 25,000 rupees, 50,000 rupees, and this could be any people, somebody who is connected to you on social media, somebody who is asking for a donation anonymously, somebody who is a long gone friend suddenly reappears, and as I said earlier, somebody who is wanting some help from you, says 25,000 medical expense, 50,000 medical expenses. Extremely careful. You should probably help or afford a loan to them only if they are willing to do basic paperwork. And believe me, 70-80% of these cases are out to extract money from you, and after that these long on friend will be gone forever. I have seen this personally, I've suffered this, and a lot of times I think my life would be much better today if I hadn't fallen prey to these kind of people. I want to really share this information with you, and probably you'll encounter such things in the future. So be very, very careful that you don't fall prey to such people. If you are trying to help people with such big amounts of loans, I think you should create necessary paperwork. You should probably create a framework where you'll be able to take the money from them. And if you're not, if they say no, it is friendship, why are you asking all that? You say, yeah, you can give the money now, but you want to make sure it is going to come back. And if the relationship is going to cut because of that, then probably the person out there is only willing to exploit you. It is very, very clear. Anybody who is genuinely wanting to give you back the financial help they take will be too happy to probably have a very, very informal agreement on paper. You're not asking them to sign on in front of a power of attorney or a legal professional. You're just saying, okay, let us write it down and let us have an informal understanding within us that you're taking this from me, and probably, yeah, you let it be infinity. You can probably take it after, return it after a long time, but let there be something to show that I've given you such a huge sum. And again, here, make sure that you share this information with anyone who's probably in your family. It can be a spouse, it can be your kids, it can be your parents, whomever. If you are in a position that you're not in a position to share this with someone, then I should say you shouldn't go ahead with that. Believe me, you will suffer less in life. You'll probably have less problems in life if you follow this rule. This is a big thumb rule which I want to tell you. So you can see variations of all this. Again, as I said, this has been a very, very incoherent podcast. I've been jumping from different topics, but all of these are connected in the sense that if you want to have a very, very peaceful life, if you refrain from doing all this, I think you'll probably have a wonderful life ahead. And I'm sure you probably have encountered this situation. Some of you might be going through these pains, unwilling to probably share it with anybody. Yeah, that's fine. All of us do mistakes, but learn lessons from mistakes, become sharper after mistakes, make sure that nobody else at least falls prey to these mistakes, because unfortunately, yes, a large part of the society is good, they are well meaning, they want to help people, but there is a sizable number of people today who is just wanting to make a quick buck. So these are some of the things which I wanted to share with you. Again, these situations you'll face in any front. You can face this in the personal front, you can professional front. If you're an entrepreneur, on that front you'll face similar situations. All I'm saying is you draw analogies from these examples and make sure that you don't commit any of these related mistakes in your life. If you have committed them, probably you learn from them and not do that anymore. But if you have not committed, excellent. I probably say that there's very little dark side to you. But if you are someone who has these dark sides, I would again say kill those dark sides right now, right today. As I said, and as it is popularly said, if you cannot share something with your mom, if you cannot share something with your dad, if you cannot share something with your spouse, if you cannot share something with your children, probably it is better to refrain from doing that. I'm sure this has been immensely useful to you. Please share it with people who you think will benefit from this. Very, very happy to share something really out of real life illustrations, real life examples, which will really better your quality of life. Thank you. I'll see you soon in another podcast. Pleasure talking to you. Have a wonderful life and career ahead. Namaskar.